On Bulletin Board this week. From home remedies, women's retreats, blossom bags, reports, and investigators to another big question and finding out what's up with Chad. You're watching Bulletin Board. Yes, you're watching Bulletin Board. Hello, everyone. It feels so good to be back in the studio again. And while we're being honest, I missed you here. Let's take a quick look at what's been happening. If you haven't yet watched the Country Living Essentials Home Remedies episode on the Silverleaf SDA Church YouTube channel, do yourself that favor. I must now say it's on the Silverleaf SDA Church YouTube channel, no? So don't say I didn't tell you. Keep up. But here's the thing. It's about so much more than the 10 most important items to have in your medicine cupboard. You'll also get a glimpse into the values that guide the life of Dr. Geeta Odendaal.
So let me just tell you what we did, is that we'd go for 10 days on outreaches. We would do medical missionary work, and then through that, gain the people's trust and plant churches. And as she came to church that Sabbath, we didn't recognize her, but she was this beautiful woman. So then she's like, hello, and I'm like, hi, in their language now, of course. So, and then she's like, no, like, remember, like, you helped me. And I was like, no, was that what she looked like? Because so it's amazing, and she became one of the leaders, I almost want to say, in that church, just by using these natural methods that God has given us.
I love that the Mitchells Plain Women's Ministries Department managed to fit in a retreat from 1 to 3 November. This time of the year gets super busy, Moss, and what better way to remind ourselves of where our center is? Practice the pause, people. Very demure, very healthy. They were at Water's Edge in Simonstown with the theme Bloom Where You Are Planted. Take a look. Bloom where you are planted. Makes me think of a project we spoke of here on Bulletin Board in a previous episode. When we come back, I've always wanted to say that, we'll speak to the creator of Blossom Bag. And we're back with Natasha Koopman, a woman who is not afraid to put her creativity where her heart is. Welcome to Bulletin Board, Natasha.
Thank you, Lisa Marie.
It's been a while since we've been together like this. What have you been up to?
Oh gosh, what have I not been up to? I think between work and life and wife and all of those things, you do find the time to get involved in God's work and in ministry, and you intentionally start making time to make that a priority and part of your lifestyle and part of who you are and what you do. And so yeah, it's been a minute, but it's been a whole bunch of things. So yeah, I'm just super excited to be here with you today.
I love that, and I love having you here. We love having you on Bulletin Board. Yeah, we'll talk about how long we had to circle for that to happen. But now, okay, so you're here because of Blossom Bag. So tell us, what is Blossom Bag? How did it start? Who's involved?
Right. So Blossom Bag was a project that wasn't intentional at first. So what happened was, the Seventh-day Adventist Church has an annual, what they would call an Adventist Women's Ministries retreat. So all the women in the conference would come out to a specific place, venue. They would spend a whole weekend in worship, attending presentations, fellowshipping. And so the ministerial director at the time of the AWM, in short, saw some of the work that I was doing in terms of collecting toiletries for women and girls in need. So she saw some of it on social media, I'm assuming, and she approached me and asked me if I would maybe like to get involved to maybe run an outreach project for the retreats women that would be attending. And so we threw a couple of ideas around, and I said, you know what? Being a woman is all about this process of blossoming into a woman
I love that.
eventually. And I suggested, let's call it the Blossom Bag Project, because essentially we want to maybe put together a toiletry bag for women and girls in need. And it would essentially maybe give them that feeling of blossoming and just, feeling okay and good and confident in their own bodies whilst they are or might be going through difficulties or challenging circumstances. And so that's kind of where the name originated from. And we got our, conference ladies or attendants to the retreat to get involved by challenging them to donate items that would be part of the Blossom Bag. And so maybe I can just quickly show our viewers. So this was the little toiletry bag that we had asked everyone to contribute towards and put some of these items together and then eventually bring with them as an attendant to the retreat. And then we had these boxes. We had a really big sort of area there where the women could bring all their items, and we could put these Blossom toiletry bags together.
So did people come with individual stuff, or did they come with every item? So one woman, would she have bought every item for the bag?
Lisa, I think this is the amazing thing about the project. We had initially, so my part to play on this, Blossom Bag project was to do the advertising and marketing, to challenge women, to speak to them individually, to pick up the phone and call, to put things out on social media and ask them to either put together their own pack of toiletries that they maybe wanted to, collect over time, when it gets to that time of the month. Then we have a bit of extra money that we could give towards projects or outreach or people in need. And so I had put down a list of items that people either individually, so individual items, they could come and donate. Or they could put the little bag together themselves and bring the entire bag to the Congress or to the retreat. And we would just maybe package it a bit more creatively or attractively to girls and women. And then we would distribute it.
Wonderful, man. This is so amazing. But there's a word that you said earlier that is just stuck in my head, and it's intentional. I do get that about you. So I've known Natasha for a very long time, no? But I do get that about you. You're intentional. You do things with thought and prayer and consideration, and you take a step forward. Now, I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while now, ever since I first heard of Blossom Bag in the run-up to the Cape Conference Women's Retreat that she was talking about earlier this year. So I'd wanted to have this conversation with Natasha then already. But she said no. First, allow the project to take root. Let's get some blossom bags delivered first. So, Natasha, the fact that you're sitting here means that something has
It's
happened.
been really lovely.
What's happened with the rollout?
So, our AWM director at the time, Pastor Kodal Librand, she had partnered up. So, in some way, we were actually also creating some kind of network of partners. So, in other words, what that means is I came along, as the more creative component of the project, and then herself as the sort of initiator and leader of the project. And then we had also approached our educational director at the time. And so she was in charge of, kind of overseeing what was happening at our various Adventist schools across South Africa. And so one of the main drop-off points or distribution points, shall I say, was to service our young girls in our Adventist community that needed some hygiene products and toiletries. And so there was probably about, I would say, 6 to 7 schools that received, with the young girls, received these toiletry bags.
That is amazing.
And from there, we went to, there was a situation, or an opportunity, rather is a better word, where we could distribute to women at a safe house as well. So there was women that they came into the situation, they didn't have a thing with them, just the clothes on their back. And so we were able to service them as well. And then there was 2 opportunities that we had to service girls and women just in communities that just didn't have because of socioeconomic circumstances and so on and so forth.
This is amazing. And it's not even 100 rand out of your pocket.
No.
So I have noticed that over the years, Natasha is a graphic artist? Designer. A graphic designer by profession. She has a master's degree in graphic design. Vast your master's degree. So I've always noticed, though, that you have poured your creativity in as far as the church is concerned, into working with young women. You seem to enjoy that. What sparked that interest?
To be honest with you, it actually started in COVID. So to cut a long story short, we just were locked down. And I said to myself, you know what, if I'm going to be stuck in this room, I'm going to lose my mind if I don't try and connect with other people. And so I had started this Instagram page, and this own personal ministry of mine was also born, Girl Positive. Some people might have heard of it. And so we were just a couple of girls having chats about shampoo and exercise in our bedrooms, over Instagram Live. And so we just spiraled from there into looking at, creating some kind of online community where women could just engage with one another and network with one another on practical and real life things, whether it be issues, challenges, whether it be fun stuff, or, just trying a new shampoo together, for example. And then from there, we just went on to creating more things within the ministry and within the network.
That is amazing. I remember Girl Positive, and I remember, I don't know where I posted something, and I said that I was drawn to it by how it looked. That was the first thing, and the name. So there's really some beauty in what you're doing. And I think this is how I see you. When you come into something, when you come into a project, you bring some beauty along with you. So there have been some other projects some other products that you've had. Tell us about those.
Yeah, for sure. So look, for me, Girl Positive has also moved into something where, we want to generate funds that can help fund outreach opportunities and opportunities to help women in need. And so I had sat down and thought to myself, where's this ministry kind of going? Where's it growing? Because you can only reach so much people with so much resources in only so much amount of time. And so I thought to myself, you know what, let me create some interesting things that I think we all could use potentially as a vehicle or a token of engaging someone else, especially as women. And so I had started out first, and this was in 2023, I had conceptualized this women's devotional. So it's a 90-day devotional where I had sort of networked with women, Adventist women in our community, asked them to write for the devotional, conceptualized this whole idea of doing a Color Me series because of the fact that I'm a creative person of sorts. So I thought, there's just so much gloom and doom in the world. And sometimes we just need a little bit of color, on the bad days, on the rainy days, on the not so colorful days. And so, we kind of launched this in 2023 and we've sold probably close to 600 books all over. So it was really something I thought, women, not all of us are extroverts. Not everyone feels comfortable to come in front of a camera and speak or speak on social media or share. But sometimes women are okay with writing and sharing this story in that way. And so I was just thankful to God that this sort of impression was placed on my heart to be able to give women that platform.
Wow.
Following that, we immediately came up with a calendar, a desk calendar, and we extracted some of the lovely, more engaging contents from the devotional into the calendar. So we had, the normal calendar sort of months and days. We had an area where you could, engage with the product. So you could write things down. There would be a mental health challenge. So just really nice practical things that makes the calendar on your desk practical but also engaging for you as a person. And then our last thing that we created was the display scripture cards, because I was thinking to myself, you know what? You often walk in Books and all these other outlets, which is lovely, by the way. But for me, I struggle to take those cards out of the box and, go through them or have them on my desk or give them. And so I thought to myself, it would be nice to take some really fundamental and truthful, biblically based beliefs of our church and pack them into a nice package that could visibly sit on your desk. And so the scripture cards consists out of 7 themes that is built on our beliefs as Seventh-day Adventists. And I thought, let's just add some sort of girly flair to it, just so that us as women can feel, it feels like something pretty and beautiful on our desk, but it's also a tool, like I mentioned earlier, but also a way of engaging others with hope and with truth and with the light and love of Christ.
I mean, you do so much. I mean, I'm like tired thinking about all of this, but I know it was over a period of time. And I'm so glad that, it does seem like from reports from people that I know have contributed to your devotional, they enjoyed the process and they felt so good to be able to contribute to something. You're so right. Sometimes we just need someone to open a door and say, let's try this. With all this, what's next for Natasha?
That's a tough question to answer, Lisa, because I felt like I've always been someone that's just been open to whatever prompting I would get from God on my own personal spiritual walk. And so I think for me, for the future, along with my husband, we are looking at doing, things that are a little out there. And what I mean by that is we are planning to maybe, put together a couple of mission trips. We want to do more outreach projects. Right now, I've started writing up a program where we can actually do more hands-on programs with girls in communities. So I'm very passionate with connecting with girls that need a bit of spurring on and encouragement and hope. And so I would encourage anyone or everyone out there, if this is something that really tugs at their heart, or this kind of practical outreach projects is something that, they would be interested in, that they are more than welcome to contact me. But I think for the future, that's what awaits, is just really practical, needs-based and creative projects.
Oh, and we wish you all the best. We hope to have another chat where we talk about what's happened since this chat, but it mustn't be so long. No, it mustn't be so long.
For sure.
I'm sure you're inspiring so many young girls who have these gifts of creativity, of seeing the beauty in things. Put that together with mission. I think that's an underrated way of doing mission, of speaking to people about Jesus because of a pack of cards, beautiful cards displayed on your desk at work.
For
you know?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here at Bulletin Board. We love having you around, and we're going to have you around again for sure. In the meantime, let's take a look at a recent Blossom bag rollout. Natasha has such a heart for reaching people. Speaking of which, the Sabbath School and Personal Ministries departments of our churches have a very strong role in reaching people. I know I enjoyed watching the Cape Conference Western Region Sabbath School and Personal Ministries digital report for 2022 to 2024. Die mense het nou digital reports keep up? I loved the fact that digital ministry is included in the report. Thank you to the leaders of 2022 to 2024 for making sure that we have all the tools at our disposal to share the love of Jesus. Please note, it's sharing the love of Jesus, the love of Jesus. Check out the first few seconds of the report.
Our mission during this term was to proclaim the everlasting gospel to all 8 million people within the Western Region territory. As it stands, the Western Cape in South Africa has an estimated 253 churches with the membership of approximately 18,845. The current population of the Western Cape, according to the latest census, is at 8 million. This means the percentage of members in the Western Region is 0.21%. The ratio of the population to Seventh-day Adventist members in the Western Cape is approximately 1 SDA member for every 235 people.
You can catch the full report on Pastor Eugene Carolus' YouTube channel. Now, the Cape Conference session was held last weekend from 14 to 17 November in Bloemfontein. Story for another day. Leaders have been chosen, but I was really pleased to see that Firgrove SDA Church had a structured, dedicated time for feedback to all their church members with refreshments. So, this is a Cape Conference Session 2024 highlight for me. And I wasn't even there. It's still investiture season, and even at the session, 3 pastors received their senior youth leadership investiture. Isn't that amazing? Pastor Martin Cubido proudly received his SYL status, and no one is more proud than his wife, Sister Irene, who happens to be my godmother. And we're back with another big question. Robert and Caitlin gate-crashed the Him-Along live a couple of weeks ago to ambush some of the guests and hosts. Check out this week's big question.
Welcome to the big question. I'm Caitlin, and today I am joined with Nolan. Nolan, my question for you is, what would you like to see on Bulletin Board in the future?
I like stories. So I was thinking about the fact of young people telling us stories about their witnessing experiences at school, at work, and just how challenging or how encouraging that is for them.
Well, I'm so passionate about mission, and I'd like to always see how God is saving people out there. So, mission work like evangelism campaigns, feeding the hungry, like Meals on Wheels, for example, they're always out feeding the poor, looking after the sick. These are really inspiring stories, and also it leads one to become missionary minded.
So, being the youth elder at my church, I think I want to see more real situations, more youth speaking about the actual challenges in life, and maybe get some advice from someone on the show, possibly, or a guest. But I think going forward, if we can have some of that, that will be great.
Do you have a big question that you're burning for us to ask? No worries. Send a WhatsApp to our WhatsApp number 063 484 1632 and we'll get some responses and share them here on Bulletin Board. And as always, reserve some space on your plate for another big question. And now we cut to the chase for another installment of What's Up with Chad.
Greetings and blessings. Welcome to another segment of What's Up with Chad. Now, today I'm going to be telling you about everything that is about to go down for the remainder of this year. See what I just did there? If you don't get it, forget about it. But there are a few things that I do want you to remember. So, get out your diaries, clear your schedules, because whatever is up is about to go down. Let's get it. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, because indeed it is that time of the year where some of us argue about whether it is the right birthday. Now you know what I'm talking about. But I didn't come to bring a fight. Rather, I come to bring peace. And speaking of peace, I want to give you pieces of information that will show you to a time of plenty. And I'm talking about events galore. On the 30th of November, Newfields SDA Church will be hosting a baby shower. My apologies. Correction. They will be hosting the celebration of the birth of Christ entitled Love Came Down. Then we move on to the 13th of December, where Helderberg SDA Church will be hosting a carols evening entitled An Evening of Carols. The next day, on the 14th of December, the Kells River SDA Church will be hosting their annual praise and thanksgiving entitled The Goodness of God. On the 21st of December, we are sitting with a beautiful conundrum. Choices. Now, Steenberg SDA Church will be hosting an event themselves, and this event will be entitled Ever Present, Ever Faithful. Now, we know that God is ever present and ever faithful. And if you are able to attend that event, please do make your way to Steenberg SDA Church on the 21st of December. And then on the same date, we have Belleville SDA Church hosting their event called A Humble Stable for a Royal King. Now we can see that we are celebrating our Savior. And if you want to celebrate with them, please do make your way down to Belleville SDA Church on the 21st of December. Events galore. I told you I won't disappoint. Now let me take you back in time. And I'm talking as far as the 1980s. Yes, this is where our picture of nostalgia comes from today. 3 beautiful young ladies arrayed in Pathfinder uniform. And in the background, we can see that this is in the yard of Good Hope High School at the Kells River SDA Church. And yes, like I said, we are observing 3 beautiful young ladies. And I believe that today they are still as beautiful and young as they were back then. Now, if you want to feature on this segment, please do send in your Pathfinder nostalgic pictures, and we will showcase them here. Tell me, where do you worship? Because I can tell you where these 5 attendees worshipped. And this picture was taken at the Bloemfontein session, which was on the weekend of the 16th of November, that is. And It was quite the session. But without getting into too much details, what I can tell you is that it was filled with powerful messages and moving musical special items. It was indeed a place to be, the place to attend, and the place where I believe God was in control. Now, if you have any pictures of where you worship, please do send them in and we will showcase them here. And just like that, we have come to the end of today's segment called What's Up with Chad. And I want to bid you a farewell as the year comes to a close. I pray that this year was filled with happiness and joy, and that you have spent enough time with family and friends and those you love. And if it is that your year was filled with trials and tribulations, we praise God that you have made it thus far on His mercies. And so I pray that you continue to trust in Him, that you continue to believe, and that you continue to tune in to the bulletin board. And just like that, I want to say blessings on blessings on blessings with love from our God above. Till next time.
So before Mikhail scrolls to the next hymn, I just want to give some context. No? I just want to give some context. So I have permission to say this. But we have our first hymn along engagement. We have our first hymn along engagement. Samantha, that's why the intros are taking a little longer to happen. It's okay. It's okay. Samantha has rings on her things now. So, it's difficult, the notes, heavy fingers. Samantha and Edson got engaged recently, and we would like to, from him along, say we are so happy that you two have decided to make this commitment.
Thank you.
And for you today, we're going to sing, I think we sang it in the season, Love at Home. Just as a rehearsal. Once I was told you I played
Just
it for a
listen,
wedding. Yes. Love at Home. Hymn number something. I don't know what's the number. I think it's 652. I don't know. We're going to find the number for Love at Home. 652. Photographic memory in action.
And for clarity, there are two Edsons that work on the set. So it's Edson Hector.
There is beauty all around where there's love at all. In news from our channel, if you missed the Hymn Along live, make some time to enjoy all the blessings of this experience, including engagements and so on. Hymn Along Season 5 is in pre-production and we'll be back every Friday night early in the new year. And if you're anything like me, you'll be re-watching all your favorite episodes until then. Sweet, we glide when there's love at home. Love at home. Love at home. Time does softly, sweetly glide when there's love at home. Pray Along continues every Wednesday at 1700. Bianca Fraser and Uyapo Kupe enriched our prayer experience with Give Me This Mountain and Restoring the Soul. If you haven't yet participated in these short prayer experiences, you can catch up on our channel and share it with someone that's on your prayer list. And it's a wrap for Season 2 of The Power of Three. Simpiwe Tom, Navaron September, and Shanae Liebeson shared a little bit of their own journeys, answering 3 questions and sharing 3 special songs each. A special thank you to our host for Season 2, Samuel Mark Julius. And for the first 2 weeks of December, we bring you a brand new show. On 1 December and 8 December 2024, you can enjoy 2 small room concerts with a live band. Keep an eye out on the socials. We can't wait. And speaking of socials, if you're looking for us in between shows and you need more info on what's happening when, you can find us on our Facebook page, our YouTube and WhatsApp channels, and our WhatsApp number 063-484-1632. And that's all we have for you today. We'll have more for you next time as we take another look at the bulletin board. You know, no? They said that I must do this, but then they didn't say when I must stop doing this, so I'm going to do this every time there's a poster reel after the credits. For you. My name is Lisa Marie Smith. 'n lekker week vir julle almal. Dis Bonnie Bona next time.